Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Sosbans and Sidesteps podcast. Joining me, Big M, as always, the one and only Mr. Huw Griffin. Good evening, my friend. How are we?
Good evening, Matt. We're back. We're back after a short break, or back as you can be for someone like me who is inescapable. Um, so, you know, hello everybody. I'm talking about the Scarlets today.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who does follow Huw, and I try, it's a lot.
It's
I've
a
no
lot.
idea.
Even for me. Like sometimes I look back on the content that I put out in the last week and I think, God, if anybody's watched even two of these, God bless them. Like
I
even for me, it's a lot of me.
Yeah, I like your weekend previews. Those little snippets. They're only a few
Oh, thank
minutes
you.
long, so I can get on with them. And then every now and then you do a decent one. So I don't mean a decent one. I mean like one I'm actually. You know what? I fancy that one. Like
Yeah.
you did one with that analyst a while back. I really enjoyed that one. So a little plug on there for anyone who wants to listen to it. So we usually have a third, and that sometimes bounces between Lee Gio, we haven't really seen consistently in a long while. He's probably at home sleeping. It's past 6 o'clock now, so he's normally in bed. Then it's either Carwin or Benji, but Carwin had a little trip with you this weekend, didn't he?
He did. He and I made a wonderful little headed on down to Newcastle Emlyn to take
Woohoo!
in a Welsh Premiership match. So we, as a podcast, as Sosbans and Sidesteps, we sponsored the match ball, which I thought might mean that we have the podcast logo printed on the ball. No, but that was probably a little bit overambitious from my part. But we were delighted to be invited down, just delighted to sponsor them. We went down. Obviously, I think Carwin had been before. I assume so. He knew a few people there. I've never been. But it's an experience that I'll remember forever. It was uh, West Wales is a beautiful place, obviously, so going there anytime is a treat. And just go the kind of we'll talk about the rugby match during the actual community bit, but one thing that I'll remember is just how friendly everybody was. Um, and when I arrived, when I walked through the door, because I didn't know where I was going, I've been there before, so I walked in the door of the clubhouse, and a bloke comes up to me and goes, "Are you Hugh?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, Carwin said a bloke in a hat would be coming. So there you go. See, the hat thing works. It's not just something to keep my head warm. So there you go. But then the rest of the day was great. And if you'd like to see what I got up to, you can catch it on the vlog, which is on the YouTube channel right now. It's also on the TikTok channel. It's just over 3.5 minutes long. There was more footage than that, but it was just me rambling, so I cut it all out. And yeah, and like I said, without I don't want to say like the rugby was secondary because obviously it's not, but it's like you'll probably be able to articulate this a bit better, Mark. It's a as a day, it's more about the community than it is about the sport, maybe. I don't know, what is that fair?
Yeah, I mean Premiership level. I don't know. I think people
Semi-pro.
probably take well, it's not quite. Well, it probably is for a lot of these players, but don't tell us to blow you that. So, but yeah, no, it is very much still a community feel. It's like I went to a game last year when they were in Championship West. Premiership's just too rich for my blood, obviously. And yeah, it was the exact same field, and everything is community based. It's like a little hub, like it's a date
It
every
reminded
other
me a
week or
bit of
so.
church. I went to church when I was a kid, don't go anymore, and it was that kind of a feel. And I
And
don't
by
mean like
that, it
from a
does.
religious point of view. I just mean like every this community coming together for the day type
Yeah,
thing.
it really is, and that's what majority of these clubs are like. Especially ones that go into the minis and junior sections as well. It's exactly the same. Like on the Sundays when you do, I've been to so many different clubhouses. On a Sunday, whether it's 10, 11 in the morning. You've had stupidly early kickoffs or whatever, as you do with the under sevens, eights, and everyone is just there. Everyone wants to engage. Parents, obviously when you've got kids running around everywhere, that's the main one. But it is very much your community, and it's your community hub. It is a nice centralized point, and I don't mean central as in location. I mean as in everyone can gather around, a sports club, and it goes for other ones as well. But obviously, being in Wales, rugby is a lot more prominent.
Yeah, I kept the match day program.
Yeah,
So
I've
I
got mine
thought
somewhere.
I thought rather than review the Munster game, I'd just read this back to front aloud for everybody. What do you
That's not.
reckon?
That sounds good. To be fair, I'm happy with that. No,
Maybe
oh,
not.
okay. It was a
No.
joke. Oh, I thought he was being serious. Oh well. I mean, you just mentioned the. I'm not going to call it an elephant in the room. You just mentioned what happened slightly this past weekend. So yeah, do you want to talk about it? Because I yeah,
Well, the game
um,
that Brython Thunder men played, you mean, over in Ireland?
yeah, that's the one.
Uh, phew, probably the. So I watched this in the hotel after got back from Newcastle Emlyn, and probably the least fun game of the season so far.
Yeah,
Probably from a Scarlets point of view.
I mean, I think from anyone's point of view, this was kind of a meh sort of game. It never sparked, and but barring Page's try, which we will come on to, there was nothing that really gave anything. It was just both sides were going through the motions. Ref was terrible, as everyone who's even read a match report will know. But yeah, just it's one of these games during the 6 weeks blocks, and it just didn't hit the strides that it would have done outside. When teams have actually had a few games on the bounce to hit a bit of form. This one of the main reasons why I'm missing having that extra competition. But yeah, it is what it is. We got to deal with it. But
Mm,
at least we don't have to wait too long to the next game.
yeah. I don't know. Do you think 29 points to 8 flattered Munster?
Very, very much. I mean, two of their tries were very, very soft. One of their tries was, let's be honest, that the tap there never was, and then another one I haven't seen a camera angle showing a ground in or even a possible ground in. So I'm not saying we would have won the match in those circumstances. Obviously, it's a different game, whatever. But there's just a few moments where you're like, really? Because
I
it was a
just
lot. It
wasn't
was a
that
lot closer.
I wasn't that impressed with Munster, considering that they're a team I expect to finish top four. Um, I haven't done the URC rewind this week, so I haven't been able to kind of speak on them. And we're here to discuss the Scarlets, not Munster, but they're obviously they beat us 5 tries to 1, so it's all very well me saying this. They're a bit last week, aren't they? It's a bit like they're not the best watch I've ever seen, and there are things about their game which is so like there's things that we do where I'm like we're kind of more up to date than them. I feel like just in my own biased view of it, like their attacking line out is pathetic. Like their driving maul is powder puff, even if they do manage to catch it. Like they ain't gonna win nothing until they sort that out. And just generally, like from open play, I felt defensively we were comfortable. It's only when, we gave away a penalty and gave them a platform within 5 meters of our line and they pick and go, pick and go, pick and go and drive us over with their, fair enough, superior physicality, which is what they did have. Um, but if it starting from a long way out, I felt like we had them covered. And
Yeah, I'm 100% with you until go within, let's see, probably five,
like
10 meters of our try line.
less
It
than
was
that, I think like 3 meters is the furthest any of their tries came out from.
yeah, it was like really, really comfortable, and you just say going, yeah, they in Munster are not really showing anything to really get over the line. If once, like you said, once they got into those final few inches, really, that they have that ability to batter, batter, batter. But yeah, I mean, if I know people have tried to go online and make a lot of the defensive stats. Uh, we had a better tackle percentage success rate than them, which is kind of weird considering we attempted
Well,
something
yeah,
like
shall we talk?
we attempted something like 270 tackles and they attempted less than 70 and we got a better success rate than them. So
Well, should we
that's
talk about
fun.
the stats? Because in a lot of games, they say like, "Oh, lies, damn lies, and statistics," but never have I seen a set of statistics reflect a game more accurately than in this game. So, I'll bring it up in a second. So just picking up a through. Do you know what went wrong in this game, Mark? Do you know what went wrong?
We didn't have the ball.
We didn't have the ball. Correct. Yes, it's very difficult to score points in rugby if you don't have the ball. So
It's also very difficult to score points in rugby when you're trying to kick for the posts all the time.
yeah, we'll come on to that in a second. But so 22 entries. So right, so I did a preview thread on the Sosbans and Sidesteps Twitter, which went down quite well, I think, and a few Munster fans appreciated. So shout out to any of them are tuning in. They One of the stats that jumped out to me was 50% of their 22 entries against. So when opposition get into their 22, 50% of the time the opposition score, which is the most of anybody. Like we're something like I don't know what we are, but like less than 40 is normal. So we got into their 22 twice and we scored a try. So there you go, 50% of the time. It works every time. And that's kind of what was a bit disappointing for me. Taking the three, you're playing a team that 50% of the time you get into their 22, they're going to let you score. Why are we taking the three? And we talked about this on the last pause. Like Munster have had one penalty goal all season, one in 11 games, one penalty goal they've taken. And look, they've shown in this game why we should be doing that. So I don't get why we were taking 2 shots a goal early. You weren't Munster averaging scoring 25 points a game. You're not going to beat them kicking threes. So
No,
I didn't get that, mate.
no. It just baffles. Like we have spoken about this previously, but it was literally a case of 90 seconds into this game, we won a penalty, and I can understand it if it was 90 seconds left, and we I don't know maybe we were 9 or 10 points away, and not very likely looking to score, to give ourselves a losing bonus point. But in this scenario, when you've still got 78 minutes to play, nothing has been tested yet. Why go for it? Especially, okay, I would normally expect Lloyd to make this kick, but it's not a gimme either. It was well over 40 meters in Ireland. That wind can pick up any time, which we saw in a few
It
other
was windy
matches
in
how
West
fun it can
Wales
be.
this weekend, though. I can tell you that from personal experience. But the defensive stats, obviously the ones that everyone's talking about. So Munster made 59 tackles. We made 241, which
Yes,
is a lot. Like I said in the thread, we need to be prepared to make over 200 tackles, and we did that.
we
We made
almost made
200
300.
tackles.
Yeah,
Um, and it's like they just wore us down. I think that's what
yeah,
it was. They're like, I know I've said in the past, like, oh, we're a team that likes to play. Like, we don't like a lot of rucks. 34 rucks is not a lot of rucks taken to the extreme. Like, in 18 minutes of rugby, 34 whole rucks. It's like, there's being a team that's happy to be without the ball, and there's that. Like, overall possession. Look at these possession maps. So for people listening on audio, oh, come on. For people listening on audio, Scarlets had 26% of the ball in this game, and we had 80% of our 26% in our half. In our half, Mark. Like, what are we supposed to do? 3% of possession in their 22. They had 44% of their ball in our 22. Like, this is why we lost the game. Like, what do you put that down to? Why couldn't we get out of our half?
leadership. I'm putting that down 100% to leadership. I honestly I've watched this game back, and I'm just looking like I know I said that defensively we were comfortable outside of that last few meters. Uh, I'm thinking and also I know he was unavailable, but if Josh McLeod was in this starting 15, I think we win this game. I honestly do, and it's not to say that Josh is a much better player than who we had currently, whoever he would swap out. It's just a case of that leadership he brings, especially, in the attitude towards defence, in going into rucks and, creating havoc. He gets people behind him doing the same thing. And quite frankly, I think that's what was missing. I don't think we have many natural leaders as such. I think we got a few people to lead by example. For Fita and Lousy, a clear personnel that that is applicable for. But in terms of someone who is incredibly vocal, who will get up on everyone, who will raise them, we don't have another player like that as such.
Yeah, I do think that the back row selection was a bit of a mistake, to be honest. Look, we've said a million times on this pod, Fafita and Plumtree together doesn't work. And I think, in this game, knowing what we're going to face in this, we're going to have to make 200 plus tackles, and we're going to have the thing about Fafita and Plumtree is they're both our two best at stealing the line out. You don't have to steal Munster's line out. They'll drop it on their own. So, you don't need to worry about that. So why not pick the Max Douglas at 6, which has always worked every time that we've done it. Have that extra physicality, and then bring Plumtree or Fafita, whichever one, off the bench as an impact player. Probably Plumtree in this particular game, for this particular opposition. For me, that would have been a better choice.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, that was probably as good as we could expect. In terms of the 23 that was named, that was probably the best 23 available. One player I am really, really happy to see back, and we got to see him back pretty early, was Sam Wainwright. I've said it multiple times. I think he is incredibly underrated. He is 26 years old. He's been here. He's only played. I don't even think he's had. Yeah, he's had 2 calendar years and a bit with us. And quite frankly, his treatment by Wales management is another thing I'm annoyed at. But personally, for him, he's a brilliant person to have to bring on, especially when you need your scrum to be sorted a little bit. Archer Holtz, he didn't look right from the get-go. So having Sam back, I mean, I know Gabe Hawley has done really well with what he's been given so far, but this is still his first year of men's rugby. We can't be expecting too much from the kid this early on. So having Wayno back is unbelievable. And he showed exactly how good he can be. He was instrumental in keeping our own ball at the scrum.
Yeah, what did you make of this scrum battle? Let's talk about the scrum battle, because we got on the wrong side of the referee probably for the first time this season that we've seen us conceding multiple scrum penalties. Where did that come from? Because like I said, all season that's not been the story that we've been seeing.
I think that's, one, being in Ireland, and 2, having a ref that's not, I don't want to say not competent, because obviously he's got to the level he has for a reason. He's done hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of games at other levels and up to this. But there was so many calls at that scrum that I really didn't understand. Like I got myself a little book. Well, I had a little book anyway, but I've gone through like the first. Well, any time it was a Munster scrum, it was either we conceded a penalty or they had clean ball. That was, and I've only gone back over like the 67 minutes. So if there's anything in the last 12 or 13, I do apologize in there. But it was a case of, straight away, that first scrum, Jaeger started angling in and they were driving up and they got a penalty. Then it was, their second scrum where Kemsey Mathias got penalised. Both sides go in. Both the Kemsey Mathias and Jaeger both go down same time, exactly same way. Should be a reset. Mathias got penalised, which I'm still scratching my head out. Then we had a scrum there. Loose-Head pulls it down. There was no call made, and that was when the wonderful referee decided to stand in front of Kodo as he tried to pick a ball up. So that's fun. There's another one where Jaeger overextends. He just resets it. He does the exact same thing again, and Mathias is penalised for hinging. And you can, when you look back at these things and you watch it more and more, you can see when it's an overextension or when it's a hinge. And I don't think refs have watched quite enough scrums, which is really, really weird to say, and actually taken that much of an active interest to know what is actually happening. They what is that? That's on the half time. Their loose head is literally knee on the ground. They just say play on. There's
Yeah,
more
I
and
remember
more.
that one particularly. I think I put it in the group chat of like their loose head's got his knee on the ground here in that
Yeah, that's
scrum,
that's not the
and
first time.
just play on.
Yeah, that loose head, same again. 56 minutes. Loose head is down. A couple of minutes later, the tight head goes down, and it's just reset. You know, uh, Another one that a few minutes later again, so 61 minutes in, their tight head pops up, but Ryan Elias got penalised for it. It's just so it's just baffling to watch, and I don't want to bash a referee. I never want to bash a referee, but it's a case of we know refereeing is an issue in this league, and it needs fixing. And when you go back and review this game, if you pull someone in, any scrum coach, I mean, let's be honest, they should have scrum coaches, deal with referees anyway to make sure the officiating is up to a decent standard, regardless. They will tell you, where things are wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying our boys were 100% perfect, 100% legal all the time. Matthias needs to work on where that bind is because he's pulling down a fair bit. He needs to get his elbow up a bit more. But there's so many little issues that could be resolved with, just a conversation in some cases. A couple hours with someone who really knows what they're doing. Just to like a masterclass as such, just to say, look, this is what's happening. This picture that you're seeing right now, this is what's happening. Because it is so easy to tell and recognize once you know.
Mm. Yeah, no, I appreciate you going through that, mate, because it was, like I said, it felt like the referee thought he was refereeing last season's Scarlets, and so he just kind of went with that. Because like I said, like what we saw against Munster at times is not what we've seen so far this season. So it was quite jarring to go back to that from last season. Um, yeah, but I think from my point of view, just like final points on the game before we break down the try. Um, the it was disappointing how much respect we gave Munster, and it was disappointing. It's not the worst performance. I'm not tearing my hair out at this performance. It's not the worst performance I've seen from the Scarlets. It's probably the least fun game to watch as a Scarlets fan this year because we never had the flipping ball, so there was nothing to cheer much about. But it wasn't like a disgrace. I'm not calling for anybody's heads or anything after the, the back of this performance, but it's a little bit disappointing that we didn't have like a plan for them, right? It's a bit like like I said, I did a thread on what Munster are like, and most of what I said in that thread happened in the game. Like 200 plus tackles, uh, needing to score, they'll concede if we get into their 22, etc., etc. It all happened. So to not like plan for that, like if I give an example, um, their star players that I called out: Tom Farrell, the centre, Gavin Coombs, number 8, and Tom Ahern, who was playing lock in this game. He's kind of a lock 6 hybrid, and plays as an edge forward. If I then go to like the URC stats page and look at the players who are called out for Munster, top tries, Gavin Coombs; successful carries, Gavin Coombs; defenders beaten, Gavin Coombs; meters, Tom Ahern got their first try; offloads, Tom Farrell. It's like, you know what you're getting from Munster. You just need to, like, 10 minutes on any like freely available stats website will tell you who their top players are and how they're going to play. So to not have come up with a bit more to disrupt them is just a bit disappointing for me. I would have liked to have thought that we could have come up with a one-off tactic for this game to knock them off their game, and we didn't do
Yeah.
that.
I'll be honest, I don't even think we needed a one-off tactic. Like, we'll come to this. We've seen from the tries that we score a lot of tries from first phase, and we score a lot from set piece. We had 4 scrums in that first half. Why didn't we just have a strike play from every single one? Because we've shown that we're more than capable of doing it. Look, if we're going to be tackling all day, these are the situations we have to take advantage of. I know there was one instance where Johan Lloyd, I think Johan Lloyd and it must have been Steph Evans were like really way too close to each other, and Johan throws the pass, even though it's going to no man's land. But we we are such a strong attacking team, especially our first phase. Like you've pointed out, and we've physically seen it. Why are we not trying more? You know, at the beginning of the game, we take that first kick off. We move it to a side. We get Ellis Mee on the edge, and he makes a beautiful kick. And that is a feature of Ellis Mee. He's brilliant at getting on the outside and putting in a lovely kick downfield. There's only one moment in this game that I'll be critical of it. And I'm not going to mention it because I don't want to. But he is a brilliant player for getting rid of ball, and I love him for that. So I just don't understand why we're not trying more. We've obviously I think this is like the fifth or sixth different first phase try we've scored with a different play. So we've got plenty in a locker.
Should we talk about this try? Because it's another stunner. It's a classic case. Continuation of the Scarlets try of the season compilation is going to be amazing, but also short. So take it back to the start here. So it's a scrum our put in our own half. So it's a try from our own half on first phase. Very Scarlets. That is obviously the tram line. So it's just beyond our own 10-meter line, far on the left-hand side of the pitch as we attack. So the ball comes out and it's picked up by Fafita. So Cowdor's running around. So Fafita's playing as the halfback here. And then Cowdor's coming in to play as the 10. So they come round there. That's Johnny Williams there running another out to in line. So our centres is really good at running these outs to in lines, occupying defenders. And to be fair, if you watch Munster, none of them really buy it. So if I play it on there,
same again.
If I play it on there, so you can see there's 3 Munster players. So I can't remember if there's Freddie or Billy. Billy Burns has got his eyes on Cowdor, but again they've not really bought it. Joe Roberts is coming in here on another out to inline. Again, we've mentioned this about Joe a couple of times. Doesn't sell it with his hands. For me, he needs to have his hands up there. He doesn't look like he's receiving the ball there. So he doesn't really occupy many defenders. So the ball's gone to Johan Lloyd now. Kind of what you mentioned a second ago there, Mark. Steph Evans very close to him. So I don't know. I'll bring you in here for your opinion. Is there ever an option for them to get Steph through this gap, or for Johan Lloyd to take on this gap?
That gap, no. Steph, no either. If anything, if it's not going to Ellis by you in what is a speculative pass at the best, it is literally a case of, obviously you can't see what I'm doing, but it is right in front of Johan and Steph. You got to do it is literally Johan hitting the first guy in the black scrum cap and trying to offload soft hands and put Steph in between them. That's the only option you've got over there.
And to be fair, the Munster defender is flat-footed here. So he's now rooted to the spot. He's just got to wait to see what the Scarlets do. And Johan Lloyd is going to pass it to Ellis Mee here, who
works wonders.
So we'll get to this. So first of all, if you watch this is not a great pass from Johan Lloyd. It gets there, but if you look at how he's had to take it there. So I'll see if I can pause it on the right moment. See how he's had to take it there. He's bent down low and he's reached out. He's worked a miracle already to take that ball, and it only gets better from here. So the Munster defender's on him right here. He is essentially tackled already, but play it on. How quick he's done that. That's literally just that's
a frame.
In a frame, he's taken the ball from 2 hands down by his knees. His ball is now in his far arm from the defender, and he's got a fend out. He's done that so rapid, and he's done it whilst bent over. I guess this is an advantage of being that tall, that whilst the defender's coming in towards him, because he's so tall, he's already got his arm at a height which can make an effective fend. So he continues by there, and then he's still getting on the outside of the Munster player here, and then he gets the out the back chicken wing offload to Max Page.
And so we just say that this is an offload because he's being tackled as he does it.
Yes, this is an offload. Counts as an offload. So Ellis Mee, you've made this try, like
100%.
Like normally, right, when you'd say like someone's got a try assist and the bloke who scored the try has run 65 meters, like you say, oh, there's a cheap try assist. No, without Ellis Mee, this try don't happen. So the ball gets to Max Page here. Max Go on,
This
mate.
this is a Foxy inspired try. This
Oh, I
beginning
was
there.
going to call it the Foxy Fend. I had that planned. So Max gets the ball here again, gets the ball to his outside. Again,
The power
he's
here. Wow.
essentially tackled already. But no, don't argue. See you later. I'm not interested in whatever you're selling, and just gets away from him. Fantastic power. So running down the touchline here, and then this is pure finishing. This is pure you call it youthful exuberance. You could call it arrogance. You could call it self-delusion. Whatever it is, it works, and we need to see more of it. So as soon I'm watching this live, and I'm thinking that you got to chip him on here. And a lot of players, a lot of wingers wouldn't try this. This is a lot of confidence here. And that's what I'm talking about, the difference between arrogance. It's like a centre forward in football. You need to have that arrogance about you to even try this. And it's a great thing. So he chips him over, sends him for a bag of chips in the stands. The Munster winger does try to just
Check
just
him.
just try to offer him a little cheap shot there, but he goes round him, not interested in that, and then he burns the covering player on, and then it's a clear try, and there's no reason to check anything else about the grounding. So that brings us on to it. So again, we got our money's worth out of this game, I suppose. We got to break down a fun try mark, but that brings us to the debate that we've been having about Max Page all year, and that's, is he in our best 15? And if so, in what position?
No, he's not in our best 15. There's an argument that maybe he's in our best 23, wearing that 23 shirt. But, you know, for me, he's got that X factor. We can see that he can play, 13 and back three. We have got someone who's watched a fair bit of him in the age grades, who was fully under the belief that fullback is actually his best position. Being well, 5'2", he's never going to be a fullback. So I think we can just put that one to rest. But yeah, he wants to play 13, and as much as I hate saying it, the only way he's going to get better as a 13 is by playing 13. Having games on the wing only helps so much. So in my opinion, we need to get him somewhere playing 13, and quite frankly, the Drovers isn't enough. It's not a high enough standard. You know, the kid has got so much talent, and I hate saying that we need to loan him out somewhere to give him this opportunity as a 13. I could quite happily have him wearing the 23 shirt every single week and come on and obviously not do things quite like this, but this is what he's capable of. He's got that top end pace
There's no one
and he's
else in
got
the
that
Scarlet
power.
squad scoring tries like this at the moment. This is his third or fourth of the season in this kind of vein.
I mean, out and out pace, yeah, it is
No, it's
stupid.
more like Eye of the Tiger stuff for me. It's more the kind of like I'm going to, because his finishes of like beating a man, like having to do like boxer tricks, go to the toolbox to find something to get over the line. You think about the first try of the season against Benetton,
And
is one against Zebra, now this one. Like, so for me, I've got a kind of a different view of, I don't mind leaving him on the wing for now. The reason I say that is he's 20. Like he's got bags of time. Like Joe Roberts is 26. Like he's got 5 years to learn to play 13. We don't need to rush him into it now. I'd say when you've got someone who's in this white hot form who can get to the try line, why not get him in situations like that where he's going to get one-on-ones, which he can clearly like contribute. Like, do you remember he scored a try for the Drovers towards the end of last season? I think he scored a hat trick or something in a game where
recently, yeah,
yeah, he just get into the try line. And for me, and look, the Scarlets backline is unbelievably competitive because you've got a Welsh international in every position. But I think at 13, like you said, he's going to have limited game time there because he's got Johnny and Joe in front of him. So he's either waiting for he's waiting for one to be injured and one to be with Wales, basically.
yeah.
Now, the
Um,
wing is almost equally as competitive, where you've got Blair Murray there, Ellis Mee there, who's been an absolute revelation. But Max Page is scoring tries in a manner that no one else is. So for me, I'd say he's going to end up as a 13. There's no rush. For now, let's use him on the wing because he's scoring the tries.
Yeah. I mean, I've just checked now. Joe Roberts is 24. Wow.
Is
He's
he? I thought he
25.
was like 26.
He's 25 in a couple of months.
Wow.
Wow. That's a shocker. But I get what you mean. But I think the issue I have is his all round game. When he's done all right when he's been called upon defensively. There are moments where he does get caught out, but that again, that is experience more than anything. That's not. He doesn't have the ability. He just doesn't. He hasn't had experienced that enough times to know which decision to make, which one is the the least probable negative outcome, and obviously that will come. But I'm looking at our outside backs, and I don't know how we find a spot for him. If we're gonna guarantee us one of these a game, then yeah, 100%. But the sad you know the realistic approach is he's not gonna get this once a game. He's not gonna be in this position where he can go 1-on-1 or even have a clean outside break and make those decisions, on the fly. So that's where my head's at. I've got no doubt that so long as he stays injury free, that he's gonna have one hell of a career, and it might end up staying on the wing. I especially internationally, I don't know how. Obviously he's also got international ambitions. He's a kid playing rugby, especially in Wales as well. I don't see how, as someone who is let me get his actual height up here. I don't want to be disrespectful to the kid. As someone that's 5'10", he is literally borderline for how tall you want one of your centers, because you come up against someone like Ellis Me who just spent 6 years basically in the gym. You're losing that battle every day of the week, like we saw with Tom Ahern and Cowdo. You're losing that battle. I think Cowdo might actually be a bit bigger than him, or at least the same size. Yeah, the exact same size. So that's my issue, and I know it's being more to the negative, but yeah, the kid's got a bright future, regardless of anything we say, anything we believe. What his best route forward is who knows. I mean, I'm happy to see him wear that 23 shirt, but yeah, playing him for a full 80, it does give me the jitters. It really does.
Hmm. All right then. So is that everything that we had to say on the Munster game then?
Um, I think so. I haven't really done. I haven't wanted to look too deeply into this. So yeah, we'll say yes, and if there's something we haven't said, we'll just forget about it. So that brings us on to the Thunder, doesn't it?
It does. It
Ooh.
does. Uh, so, do you want to say it or can I say it?
You say, go on. You are more invested in this than I am.
The Thunder won a game of rugby at home at the
Woo!
park.
The park is a fortress.
Yeah, we beat Edinburgh, who I thought were going to be amazing, and it turns out are actually a bit rubbish. Um, they lost to Glasgow.
What?
Yeah, they lost to Glasgow the weekend.
They really wow. Like, don't get me wrong. I did call this a few weeks ago. I said the only chances was winning would be the Edinburgh return and the Glasgow games. But wow, losing them. Okay, let's talk about Thunder. Talk about Thunder. So some beautiful tries in this game.
It was an exciting game, first of all, competitive, plenty of scores. Went down to the wire, and yeah, I mean there were some frustrations. We're not fixed. Like there were some moments in the game which would have your head in your hands. Especially the Gwalia are going pretty bloody well at the moment. So um, if you go from watching Gwalia to watching Thunder, sometimes it is a bit of a shock. But uh, yeah, some brilliant tries. And look, the best thing about the Thunder, and it has been all season, is the centres. And as was in this game, like three brilliant tries scored. Not just three tries in the whole game. I can't remember when we scored 5 or 6 in the whole game, but
Too
three of
many.
them came from the centres and were fantastic tries, particularly the ones at ends of the game. We were, I think, I want to say 1 point in the lead with 30 seconds left, and we had a scrum bang on halfway in the middle of the pitch. And I'm thinking, I wouldn't back us to go like keep ball for a few phases. So what are you going to do? Restart and just thump it long? That's what I'm thinking. Like Edinburgh had already carved us up from distance at one point. So I'm thinking, just kick it long. But no, they play, and gosh, do they play. The ref says use it, and by God, do they use it. It goes to the wing and down the touchline, inside, outside, beat you, beat one, beat everybody, over the try line for a score, and just fantastic. Absolutely delighted. So yeah, the centres, all of the centres were fantastic, all 3 or 4, however many we used in this game. And Hannah Marshall, I think, has to be the 10 moving forward. She's not got the all-round game yet. Obviously, still a very young player. However, she makes things happen and she tries things, and she doesn't want to be one of those 10s that just kind of like lets the game happen and goes, oh well, didn't have the platform or whatever. She's like, no, give me the ball. I'm gonna make something happen here, and she does that every time. So I like that. So yeah, very
Happy
happy
days.
watching the game.
Happy days. So that brings us on now to next weekend. So they welcome Clovers to the park. So 58-0 was the first fixture, and the only reason Clovers are not top of the league at the minute is because the game against Glasgow got postponed, and they would have awarded 2 points each. They would easily be, obviously only by the 1 point, but they would be top of this league right now if it wasn't for that. And that is, I fear, going to be the thing that's going to stop him from getting the title, which is really, really sad when you think about it. They're 2 points behind, those 3 match points that they would have had against Glasgow. It must be heartbreaking for them having that reality. Well, that almost be a reality at the minute. So, won a game, not convincingly, but played a fair bit better in fits and starts, maybe. So, are we getting on the scoreboard in this game against the Clovers?
I would love it if we did. I would love it if we scored a try against them. Yeah, I hope so. And I just hope that we learned where our strengths are, because there's times this season we've tried to play. I mean, it's a development league, isn't it? So, yeah, we've tried to play like quote unquote the right rugby by keeping it with the forwards, but we're miles better when we get it to the centres.
It's a
So
team from Llanelli. You know where to play the rugby.
I know. It kind of reminds me a bit of Wales women under Johan Cunningham. Sometimes we'd like try and play like correct rugby by getting it to certain players in certain positions. And it's like, just give it to Cecilia Tuipulotu, like, and then she will crash over from 5 meters. It works. Why are we trying to do anything other than that? It's stupid. But it kind of with Brython sometimes it's a bit like, stop doing pick and goes, give it to the centres. So that's what I would like to see.
That's what you like, and we may well see it. Who knows? I am slightly looking forward to this game now. I'll be honest, I've missed a few. Been very busy weekends. I think this last week was the only time I've seen the Scarlets game live this year. I really want to see that. So yeah, I am looking forward to the Clovers coming down. So that takes us on to what is usually a very chipper part of the podcast over
Yeah, and under
at the
18s
beginning of
won
the
the
year.
league, right, Mark?
Yeah, they won the league phase. Yeah, that's I think that's all we need to leave at. So this year they changed it. They've added a knockout stage at the end, and I 100% agree. These boys need more games, but a knockout phase when there's only 5 teams feels a little bit iffy. I would have much rather them, have just do double round robin. Would have made much more sense. So
So are
yeah,
you saying it's a conspiracy?
100% conspiracy. So yeah, I actually I think the boys actually went in at halftime up. Um, haven't had I haven't seen any match reports. We've had some highlights on the
So win
WRU.
hushed up, that's why, Mark. So
Yeah,
win
no, well,
covered up.
haven't even had the try scorers. Like normally the Scarlets Academy page, literally they post the try scorers immediately underneath. I haven't
Were
even
there
seen
any?
that.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I've had to try and assess who they are myself. So that's gonna be fun. So I apologize if I get any of these wrong. But yeah, so Llandovery for the semi-finals, and we played a Cardiff team that has only managed to beat RGC this season. We beat them 51-19 at the exact same venue 4 weeks earlier, and we somehow go down 26-43. So I'm still scratching my head at how this happened. Obviously, not being there kind of makes it 10 times harder. So of the 4 tries that we scored, I can 100% say that Thomas Williams scored 1 and Captain Ocean Williams got 2. We scored 1 from the back of a mall, but I can clearly see our hooker standing on the outside. So I've no idea who has actually scored this. It actually looks like, because of the scrum cap, it looks like someone wearing 16, but that wouldn't make sense. That really wouldn't make sense. But yeah, obviously, congratulations to Cardiff. They've been very poor in the group stage. I think they will even admit that themselves, and they've pulled it out of the bag for this one. They now get to go and play the Ospreys at Cap, has to be said, for the title, which it stings. It stings knowing how good our under-18s can be. But in the grand scheme of things, I think this will actually benefit the boys. It would be 2 years of
Was there a
not
third place
losing.
playoff?
I was led to believe that, but I haven't seen anything to confirm it as of yet, which is obviously we'll find out in the coming days, I'd hope. But yeah, I think it will benefit the boys having a competitive loss. Just this season alone, they've beaten every single team they've come up against. Leinster down at New Dock, they beat Elan. The seconds even beat Elan seconds as well. So they won all 4 of the group stage games where obviously you play everybody first, and then even if you go into last season, they just walked in and beat everyone. So they've beat, barring Leinster, who they've only played once, they've beaten every team they've come across at least twice, which is quite remarkable, really, when you think of how an under-18s work. How it's literally half a
There's
team
something
moves on every
fishy going
year.
on here, Mark. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not. No, let's not dig into it.
Yeah.
But
Well, have you been paid off as well?
oh, maybe. I've got something in the post that's coming. It's apparently very nice. But boys need to learn how to take a loss. They need to know how to win knockout games, which again it's not going to come till a bit later in their careers. But it's good to be able to go in and say, okay, we're analyzing this from the loss perspective. Quite a lot of these boys, surprisingly, wouldn't have had that within the RAG
Yeah,
system.
Griff Watkin. This is the first time he's lost at this level in 2 years, for example. So
Was it Griff playing?
yeah,
I shook my head then, and I was like, I know one of the centers was different, but was it Griff? No, it was Harry Davis was the difference. Yeah, it was Griff Watkin and Tyler Davis. Griff normally plays 13. He plays he plays 13 for Llandovery, plays 13 everywhere, but no, he's played 12 this on the last game. Yeah, that's different for him. But no,
yeah,
it's the
silly.
same. It's the same as Carwyn Jones. This is the first competitive game he's lost. In the Scarlet colours, and it's the exact same for the few boys. Ocean Williams, exactly the same. But yeah, those boys we've named, is going to be interesting to see them now over the next few months. What happens? Ocean Williams has already stepped up with the Quins once. Don Corsuth, who wasn't in this match, he's turned out for the Drovers early in the season. I am really intrigued to see how many of these boys will make an appearance in the SRC before season's end, and then obviously going into next year, it's going to be a big one again. We so many boys that have got high ceilings, or at least based off what we've got right now. It's a good time to be a Scarlet. Someone who I really like the look of is Nathan Davis, a tight head. He's second year now. He was with Wales 18s last year. I hate this January to December, age grade cut off for national squads. It's doing my nut in. So I don't know if he's going to be, with Wales 18s again this year. But if he's not, he's not. It's just we've already got Jack Pritchard, who has looked really good. First year 20, like he looked awesome last year. I would say he looked awesome with Scarlets, looked awesome with Wales 18s. Proper scrummager, looks the type as well. And we had Nathan Davis behind him last year doing the exact same things, and he's doing them more. I am really, really excited watching these boys. I'm so intrigued to see where they're going to go, how they're going to bed them in, because there is a lot of boys that are going to be moving up to senior academy contracts, I should say. Over, if we look at this under 18 squad, include last year's, we're talking almost 20 boys getting senior academy contracts. So, we've got year 1 and year 2 boys have basically filled the lot. So it's going to be fun to see how this works out. I'm really excited for it, if you can't already tell.
I can.
You can. Anything you want to add, buddy, before we go on to the greatest part of the podcast?
No, I think it's time to get on to the community game.
It is time to get on to the community game. So give me about an hour to work it out. Boom, I'm quite quick today. As long as it works. Has it worked?
I'll be back.
Is he genuinely gone? Oh, that's terrible. Terrible. Okay, so we start in the SRC Cup. So Llandovery travelled to RGC in what was basically a decider. RGC won both their games up to this point. Oh, he's back. He's back. So Llandovery decided to basically run riot up in RGC, 61 points to 20.
Oosh.
And
who's that on the scoreboard?
Tian Sparrow. What a surprise. First start for Llandovery, and he's on the scoreboard.
It's over for everybody else.
It really is. It really is. So yeah, boys we had involved in this one in the 15. We had Ed Scragg, who's been an ever-present, Tian Sparrow, Cian Abraham making his first start of the season back from injury. Happy days. And Tommy Lewis making the switch from the Quins to start a game at 15. I don't know if that's a sign of things to come. But there's a nice little highlight.
He played a fullback for the Quins last season and only featured on the wing for us.
Yeah. So there's a nice little highlight of a coast-to-coast try, it's actually said in the video, that Tommy Lewis actually starts from deep in his own 22. So, well done, Tommy. So, and the other player we had involved was the young loosehead, Tom Phillips, off the bench. In the other game, Carmarthen Quins travelled to Newport and went down 47 points to 26. Got a bonus point on the Newport. That's some good going.
Newport, good team.
Newport are a good team. They are a very good team. So boys we had involved in this one, everyone in the 15. We had Isaac Young, Keanu Evans, Rodri Lewis, Ellis Payne, and try scorer Gabriel MacDonald. I think Gabe is having a very, very impressive season.
He's getting a lot of game time.
He is. He's well into double figures. If I'm probably gonna have to correct myself, but no, I have seen his name so many times, and he's grabbed quite a few tries as well, which is obviously great.
Did he ever run out for us against Edinburgh?
No, he's played in some of the development games. I think he must have played in the Exeter game last year, and I'm pretty sure. Where is it? Yeah, he played against Quins, but that was an academy game anyway. Where was it? Yeah, the Dragons development he played in this year.
Okay.
So yeah, he's add these extra games in. He's played a lot. I haven't changed my screen now, have I?
No. Yeah, you're back now.
I'm back. Okay. I probably shouldn't do that. Okay. So no games this weekend. The next SRC Cup games are coming on the 1st of March. Llandovery are hosting Bridgend, and Quins get a chance of revenge when they host Swansea. So, down into the Premiership, Llangennech winning 39-24 home to Bonamine. Narberth just missing out 28-24 away to Newbridge. And the Sosbans and Sidesteps annual trip to Newcastle Emlyn saw the Emlyn go 21-47 down to Morgan Stoddard's Cross Keys.
Shall I talk a little bit about the game?
Go on, give us a minute. Go on.
Yeah, started poorly. Cross Keys scored very early. the final scoreline's a bit harsh, well, very harsh, I think, on Newcastle Emlyn. They were winning 21 points to 20 into the second half, but Cross Keys pulled away. And I think you have to say fair play to Cross Keys. They played some good stuff. The pack, I thought, went well at the set piece. A couple of driving mauls from a long way out, and they looked very clued up between the backs. So, but the better team won, I think it's fair to say. But Newcastle Emlyn, um, yeah, never gave up. Always going for it. A few nice breaks, a few tidy tries, very watchable. And the one thing that I quite liked about them was they threw to the back at the line out, like pretty much every time. I get a bit bored of teams who just throw to the front all the time. We're seeing that a lot in the Six Nations at the moment. Teams just throwing to the front. I'm like, come on, try something, you know, live a little. And they did that. So shout out to the Newcastle Emlyn line-out coach for getting them to throw to the back.
Yeah, and to be fair to Newcastle Emlyn, they made a point last season that when there was 5 promotion spots in both Championship West and East, it was a case of why not have the 2 5th placed playoff, or even just use whatever to determine which one goes up and create a nice 12-team premiership. Obviously, the WRU did not go for that, but I'm not going to say Newcastle Emlyn are not long for the Premiership. They're just not long for the Premiership this year, and I think they realised that going into it, and they've had a hell of a crack at it this season. Fair play to them. They've had a good few wins. They got a draw in there as well. Well done to the boys. They've really represented, and they've done themselves proud. And the season's not even over yet. They've still got another 6 games. So keep on trucking strong, boys. So, fixtures for the Premiership. Again, they're not on till the 1st of March. We've got Narberth travelling to Cardiff Met. And a mini derby, Llangennech hosting Newcastle Emlyn. That's a tasty one to have a look
Be a
at.
good game, that.
So, down in Championship West, Crymych nilled 0-37 at home to Tondee. Tondee are one of the top-end teams, I will have to say that. Llanelli Wanderers 24-13 winners away to Dunvant, and Ystalyfera winning 25-12 at home to Ammanford. This was a bit of a shock to me, seeing Ammanford lose based on the run they've been having. Since the likes of T and Sparrow has come back into that side, but obviously they don't have T and Sparrow anymore, and they also haven't got Sam Potter either, who has been instrumental for them at 10. So it's a bit disappointing for them, to lose to Ystalyfera. No disrespect to them intended, but Ammanford were really pushing for that top spot. But on the positive news for Llanelli Wanderers, Tata Steel drew with Kenvigill, which has basically opened up that first spot and basically given them free run to really go and take this league. So well done, Wanderers, and let's see how you get on in your next game, which is the 19th of Feb, which is on Wednesday night at home to Trebanos. That's the only fixture in the coming week or weeks, I believe, in that before the 1st of March. Okay, down into 1 West, and Aberystwyth, who are still in first position, won 47-0 at home to Pencloud. 2 games called off in this one. Felinvol at home to Buryport, and Hendy travelling to One Eyelid. Haven't seen reasons, most likely flooded pitches, as you would expect. Kidwelly winning 13-12 at home to St. Clair's, and Tenby winning 36-12 at home against Pontarddulais. 1 game this coming weekend, we've got Hendy hosting Kidwelly, the tasty one. 2 West Central, Brynhaman's game away to Hoylecow was postponed. They don't play again till the 1st of March, which is away to Brinkethin. Down into 2 West, Fishguard won 45-14 at home to Whitland. Larne, who have kept first position, I have to say, because this could have gone the other way with Lampeter hot on their heels. 31-23 winners at home against Lampeter. And, Lampeter's first loss of the season. I honestly thought Lampeter were just going to do a little leapfrog and go above them, but obviously they didn't. So well done, Larne. Betos losing 26-20 away to Lacha. Milford Haven against Carmarthen Athletic was postponed, and Gredig with the bye. Their next round of fixtures isn't until the 1st of March, where Larne travel to Betos, Carmarthen Athletic host Lampeter, Milford host Nancaredig, Whitland get to host Lacha, and Fishguard get the bye over into 3 West. We got Hartford West winning 24-14 away to Army United. Cardigan 26-17 winners at home to Kev Nathan. I don't know why I've got 2 teams. I know why now. So we have Croix winning 31-10 away to Llangadog, and Llandilo winning 20 points to 15 away to Pontevedra. Tumble's game against Aberaeron was postponed. Tumble were in first, but due to that postponement, Croix have now taken over first position. I really shouldn't have done it like that. I don't know why I have. Okay, games not till the 1st of March, where we got Aberaeron at home to Cardigan, Llangadog travelling to Kevin Nathan, Tumble travelling to Haverfordwest, and new league leaders to Christ travelling to Llandilo, and Pontevedra hosting Emlyn United. For West A, Narberth Athletic 39-11 winners at home to Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau. Neyland still top of the league, 62-12 winners at home to Llanybydr. Langham going down 42-21 away to Pembroke. St David's winning 15-0 at home to Crymych and Pembroke Dock with the bye. Fixtures 1st of March. Neyland travelling to Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau. Langham hosting Narberth Athletic. Pembroke Dock Quins hosting St David's. Pembroke travelling to Crymych and Llanybydr with a bye. For West B, almost over, people, almost over. Pontiac winning 22-14 away against Binya. Pantavanna losing 90 points to 19 away to Fall Bay. Pennybank against first place New Rock Stars was postponed. Furness 10-3 winners. Furness 10-3 winners away to Tregaron. Trimsaran against Llandibby postponed. I do know this is because Llandibby couldn't raise a side. Not great. Anyway, their next game's 1st of March again. So Trimsaran travelling to Binya, Furness hosting Pennybank, Llandibby hosting Fall Bay, Tregaron heading to Pantavanna, New Dock Stars still in first place for the second time I've said it. Travel to Pontiac. A couple of cup games to go through in the youth division. So Carmarthen Quins in the last of the WIU Cup quarterfinals went down 13-18 at home to Gleneath. So, unlucky for them, but they do have a local, I want to say cup. They do have a local cup competition to look forward to anyway. And in it's Pembrokeshire Plate, but I call it Kerry Pem's Plate. Crymych won 34-12 at home to Aberystwyth, so they get to travel to the final. So well done to those boys. I will now stop sharing. That's the end of community.
I know a few more of these places now. I've been on my drive all through West Wales.
Yeah, you've started picking them up, have you?
Yes, on the way back we took the scenic route back from Newcastle Emlyn, so we stayed in Cardigan and then went up to Aberystwyth, drove through Aberaeron.
Beautiful absolutely
place.
Stunning. I want to go. I've always wanted to go to the Sevens they host in the summer. I almost went last year. I just got tipped off at the wrong time.
Wish we'd have stopped and had a wander around. Absolutely stunning. And then up to Aberystwyth, and then we went across to Shrewsbury. So we drove down or up or round the A44 or through the mountains and things. Movingly beautiful part of the world. Loved it. Happily do that drive again any day.
Next weekend, Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau, you're at home.
They are. They were talking about that at the game. But before we finish off the show, Mark, we've had a letter.
Why?
We have got to read it out. If someone sends us a letter, we've got to read it out.
Yeah, someone.
Yeah.
I wonder who this someone is.
It's from Jack from Locker.
No, I would never have guessed. JFL, what are you doing, bud?
He says this. Dear Sosbans and Sidesteps, is Geordie Barrett going to be on your podcast? It's just that I already told everybody that Geordie Barrett would be on your podcast. I even went so far as to make a funny video about Geordie Barrett being on your podcast and posted it to social media. If Geordie Barrett is not going to be on your podcast, that'll be highly embarrassing for me. And my children will never trust me again. Yours, Jack from Locker. Well,
I know exactly what this is referring to. Do you want to share to the people?
Can you just... No, there's no need. Can you just confirm, is Geordie Barrett on the podcast? Are we going to pull him out now? Has he been waiting? Has he sat patiently through the community section and he's waiting to jump out and give his thoughts on Croix's latest result?
I mean, he is waiting to jump out, but he's currently in a cage, and if I let him out, he'll probably do a runner. So, yeah, nah, he's not coming on the podcast. As far as I'm aware, we will try. We always do endeavour to try, but I don't think Glenn's still responding to this crazy guy from Wales. His emails all the time, I want to speak to Geordie. Ah well, ah well. Is that it, my friend? Have we done? Do we have anything else to talk about?
Well, we shall not be speaking to the people again until post Ulster.
Yeah,
Got to beat Ulster.
yeah,
We're
they're
we're
crap.
we're away in Ulster, and you normally think Welsh region travelling to Ireland. Zebra have just gone to Ulster and won.
Yeah,
Ulster are crap.
that's that is embarrassing, and you can't defend that. Uh, I'm saying this. Have we ever lost a zebra? I can't say we
Don't
have off the
think
top
we
of my
have.
head. I'm not
Definitely not at
googling now.
home.
Yeah, so even losing to zebra is terrible at home,
Yeah,
especially.
Ulster
But
just gone out to Benetton and lost.
that's what I'm gonna
Ze
say. That this
Ze
was.
Zebra have won 2 away games in a row, but we're not playing Zebra. We already beat them.
Yeah, we've already
Playing
beat
Ulster.
zebra rather comfortably
Mm,
as well at that. Obviously, Ulster zebra did go to Edinburgh
mm.
and get that result. So well done for them. 22-17.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to say, yeah. Yeah, but Ulster are not in a great position, but I'm not gonna count my chickens yet because there was another team that we were playing that were in a very similarly terrible position, and then they had a coaching change and decided, oh, we're gonna just sneak this one at the end. They paid a few boys back at the end and all that. But yeah, so long as nothing happens at Ulster over the next what is it now, 12 days, there's no there's there is no reason why we shouldn't be coming back from Belfast with a boatload of points.
yeah. Just don't respect them. Like, just go for them. Like, don't go like, oh, we're away in Ireland. Just kick the three. Let them have it.
No,
They're
no.
they're rubbish.
Can we just say this now? Stop kicking the three unless it is literally last few minutes of the game. I'll take 39th minute at the end of the first half when you've been knocking on the door for a bit and haven't been successful. I'll take that. But outside of those, stop it. You're much better
We've
off.
seen you score first phase tries from your own half now. Stop taking the three.
You've seen that multiple times. But yeah, and you're giving Johan Lloyd all the kicks. You're making him being top scorer make people think he's a decent 10. Like, I think the guy's a decent player at 10, but that's as far as it goes. I would much rather see tits in that 10 shirt, but that's another story. Yeah, stop taking the three, go to the corner, maul them to death, give Marner some tries. Josh, take a back step if that does happen. And yeah, that's all we can really say.
Yeah,
So
Josh, fresh hamstring. Don't even look at it.
that's where his damage is. All that extra forcing of
I know
pushing
scoring all
over.
these tries is. I reckon Marnus has kicked him
Give
in
him a
the
dig.
kicked him in the calf.
Yeah, I can see it now. They were practicing and training. Josh took the ball at the back of the ball. Manas came in behind it, and his knee just slowly went into that hamstring.
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
just going. Oh,
stop!
sorry, Josh. Sorry about that.
Didn't see you there. Why
Yeah.
were you there, but?
Oh, you're gonna have to miss the next game. Oh no. Oh, flipping heck. I'm sorry about that.
All right, at least we get to finish with a bit of a smile on our faces. So, as always, thank everyone for listening. If you've enjoyed, or even if you've made it this far, like, share, subscribe, show a friend, anything. Just engage with us. We love it. Cheers, Huw, for coming back time and time again. Still haven't sorted a nickname. Hat Boy just isn't right, even though it seems to be a good moniker. But so, until next time, thanks everyone, and we'll see you then. Bye, guys.
Bye.